Hello, friends. You've stumbled across a short clip from the Daily Switch 2 podcast, which, believe it or not, is a podcast that is about the Switch 2 with new episodes released daily. What will they think of next? It's an absolutely great start. That's 2 for 2, two really good games for the Direct. Now, what could be the third game? Is it going to be an awesome title? Is it going to be an amazing It's Just Dance 2026. Okay. So, Just Dance. What can I even say about this? As I said in the live reaction, this is a game that, it's a series that's been around for a very long time. There's obviously still a market for it. I do have fond memories of back in the Wii days when we would go to people's houses. My kids were young at the time, and we'd go to people's houses for like Halloween parties or Christmas parties, or the adults all getting together for a barbecue or whatever, and the kids would all play together, and basically every house that we'd go to would have a Wii with Just Dance and Mario Kart, and that was pretty much it. The kids would play Mario Kart, or they'd play Just Dance, and often, not to be stereotypical, but it's true from my experience at least, that often the girls would join in with Just Dance, even if they weren't interested in Mario Kart. So it was great, and sometimes the adults would get a bit tipsy, and then they'd start dancing along with their favorite songs from the 80s or 90s when they suddenly recognized a song on the soundtrack. So Just Dance, great party game. I can see why it was popular. I can see why it grew. But for me, it's one of those things of, why is it still going? I can kind of understand. Obviously, you can release new versions with new songs and everything else, but for me, I have very little interest in keeping up with the latest editions of Just Dance. But as I said, the main thing that puts me off actually is not the fact that it's a yearly release. The main thing that puts me off is I really don't like the way the art style has changed over the years. Yes, there's lots of bright colors and some cool fashion, and being a Ubisoft game, some of that fashion is quite French. You see characters with berets and stuff, and that amuses me. But they moved from having very kind of Apple iPod advertisement inspired silhouettes, but instead of like the Apple adverts always used to be black silhouettes, whereas they were white silhouettes, and then the clothes would be in color, and I always thought that was kind of a cool aesthetic. It was a bit plain, it was a bit corporate, but at the same time I thought it was cool enough, and it was clear enough. You couldn't really have the Mario characters doing the dances and ask people to copy them, because of course the proportions are different, so it's a lot clearer if you have a human proportion sized character doing it, if you have to copy it directly. So I understood that a little bit, like the even though you had the Mii's in Wii Fit, for things like jogging or whatever, when you have to copy the yoga poses, it would use the Wii Fit lady, like a realistically proportioned lady. So I understood that, but in the modern versions, at some point, somewhere along the way, they decided to start adding faces to the white silhouettes. So they're still completely white, single color silhouettes, but they're taken from real footage of real dancers, and then they've added extremely bold black dark eye makeup and lipstick, so that you can see the facial expressions, and to me it looks really creepy. I mean, again, it's Ubisoft, it's French, so there's a tradition of mimes, I suppose, in France, and certain clown makeup of the kind of Parisian style. But still, I always thought that mimes and clowns with like extremely white faces with extremely dark makeup looked kind of creepy. But when you flatten them to a almost 2D silhouette, where it's just literally white on black, realistic eyes and mouths on a white. So to me, it just looks hella creepy. I mean, if you're looking at this on YouTube now, you can see the footage. What do you think? To me, ew. To me, it just really gives me ick. It makes me quite uncomfortable. There's an uncanny valley about it. I really don't like it at all. But there was like a section in the trailer where they suddenly brought in all this kind of pop art and bright neon colors, and suddenly there was like a cartoon style character, almost kind of like a graffiti-esque character. It reminded me a bit of the Betty Boo, not Betty Boop, I'm talking about Betty Boo, the rapper in the 90s, had an aesthetic of this kind of pop art style, cartoon-esque. Anyway, it was for the few seconds when that popped up, I thought, oh man, that looks really cool. If they made all the art style like that, I'd really like that. I'd think that was really cool. And you could have kind of dancers. Do you remember Buster Groove on the PlayStation 1? That had kind of very stylized humans, but semi-realistically proportioned humans, but kind of stylized and cool looking. You could have something kind of like the Herbs. Do you remember the Herbs, Sims in the City? That was a really cool aesthetic that they went with there. Or like a Bratz doll or something. I don't know, but just something other than these really ugly silhouettes. To me, I find them very disconcerting. So, what can I say about the game? It's coming out on the Switch 1 only, despite what Wikipedia seems to think. I always double check, do a little bit of research. I know Wikipedia isn't real research, but I look on sites like Nintendo Life, and I look on the official Nintendo of America website. I tend to also look on the official websites for the publishers of each game, especially if I can't find information elsewhere. And I do also double check my lists regularly against the ever-growing list of officially released games for the Switch 2 on Wikipedia. And the Wikipedia list seems to think that there is a Switch 2 version of Just Dance, but that is not correct. So I'm not going to edit it, but maybe if somebody listening wants to go in and edit it, they can add a correction. It's coming out on October the 14th. I couldn't see any mention of a physical release. It seems to be digital only. I think from what I saw, it's only like $25-ish, or maybe that was Just Dance 25. Actually, I think we haven't had a price announcement yet. But the previous games seem to be about $25, but it does seem to be also that there's Ultimate Editions which have more songs. So I don't know. Watch this space. But I can't imagine many people listening to this specifically will care about this. Obviously, it's a Ubisoft game, as I mentioned. There's 40 tracks. As for new features, it says there's a new co-op party mode. I'm not sure exactly what that means. One of the songs in the trailer was All Star by Smash Mouth, which surprised me that hasn't been included already. If you'd have asked me to bet money on whether All Star by Smash Mouth had been included, I would have said somebody once told me that. I'm kidding. I would have said it's definitely included already, but apparently not. What else can I say? I'm going to put it at an E tier. Simply because of that black and white art style with the faces. It just really, really creeps me out. But I do assume there must still be a market for these as they keep releasing them regularly. So, it's cool for you if you like them. I'm happy for you. I'm going to let you finish. And All Star by Smash Mouth is the greatest song of all time. Well, that was funny / sad / informative / stupid, wasn't it? Feel free to mentally redact to make that make sense with the clip that you just heard. I don't know what it was. I'm just recording a bumper. But if you enjoyed the clip, please give it a like. If you'd like to hear more, click subscribe, and you can find all the ways to listen to and support the full daily podcast at linktree/dailyswitch2. That's linktr.ee/dailyswitch2. Let's go! Did I sound like I mean that? I do. I really do.